Hello everyone, this is Aaron Johnson with the Johnson iRacing team bringing you our weekly Johnson iRacing team update. We've just completed week number 6 in the season 4 of the iRacing 2020 season. And the Johnson Racing team, the Johnson iRacing team at this point in time has 3 drivers, each of whom competes in the Fanatec Rookie Street Stock Series and in the iRacing Advanced Legends Cup Series. Let's start out with Jake Johnson. We'll start with Jake today. Jake had a pretty good week. He had 6 starts, 1 win, 3 top 5s, and 2 poles. Jake had a pretty decent week, as you can see here. He raised his I rating back up over 1,250 to 1,262. He had a rough week at the end of last week with several accidents, but this week, Lanier National Speedway, a short track down in Georgia, was pretty kind to Jake. He had a lot of good runs there and managed to do a really nice job. If we look at where Jake is in the overall series standings, we're going to start out with we'll start out with the Fanatec Rookie Street Stock Series. Jake is in position 751 out of 12,296 drivers. That puts Jake somewhere in the top 6% or so of drivers that have attempted at least one points-paying race. Jake did not start this week at Langley Speedway. Langley's in Virginia. It's a track that he was not very comfortable with, and he didn't have enough seat time to really get used to it, so he chose not to endanger other drivers or to maybe take a chance on messing up someone else's race. Still, Jake's inside the top 6% or so he's doing really well in the Fanatec Street Stock Series. If we take a look at where Jake is in the Advanced Legends Cup, he's in division number 4, and at this point in time, Jake is in 40th position in division number 4, this despite having 1 fewer race than he's allowed. He's run in 5 weeks. He is allowed to have run in 6. He's averaging not quite 70 points a week. If we were to project that out and give him another 70, he'd be somewhere around 408 points or so, which would put him somewhere in the top 25 in Division 4. So Jake's doing really well. If we look at his stats in the Legends Cup, he's got 26 starts, 6 wins, 10 top 5s, and 7 poles. So Jake's in the top 5 pretty close to 40% of the time. And top 5s are kind of the benchmark here. So when you start seeing your top 5 numbers approach 50%, you're going to be performing really well. If we look at where Jake is in the overall standings, right now Jake is 232nd out of 10,112 Advanced Legends Cup drivers. That puts Jake inside the top 2.5%. And it really allows us to meet one of our team goals. One of our team goals coming in was to put all of our drivers inside the top 250 in the Advanced Legends Cup. And right now it looks like we're on a pace to do that. Let's talk about Joe Johnson, my brother Joe, who's been racing now for about 2 months. Started iRacing back on August 16th. Joe raised his I rating up to 1,851. He's since run a race, so it's dropped back down to 1,808. Joe's I rating well over 1,800, though. Remember that you start with 1,350, so he's increased his I rating quite a little bit here. Joe this week started 5 races, had no top 5s. It was a rough week in terms of top 5s, and had 1 win. Take that back. He had 1 top 5. He had 1 top 5 at Lanier. So Joe started 5 races, had 1 top 5, no wins, and no poles, but was able to do pretty well. I think Lanier National, again, being a flat track, and Joe and I now running in this top group all the time, the competition getting to be really fierce, and top 5s are going to be harder and harder to come by. So this is really going to be a measurement of how good we're becoming, and it's a testament to the team that the setups that we're able to build here have us being competitive enough to run in the top 5 or the top split all the time with the top 5 as our goal. If we take a look at what Joe did in the Street Stock Series, right now he is ranked 1,170th out of 12,296 drivers. That puts Joe in the top 9.5% or so of drivers that have attempted at least one points-paying race. This despite the fact that Joe has only run 5 weeks out of the 6 that he could have run. So he's been averaging 35 or 40 points a race. It's hard to score points in this class if you don't get a lot of seat time. And I think Joe's choosing right now to focus on the Advanced Legends Cup. Still, Joe has 18 starts. He's got no wins. He's got a top 5 and 3 poles with an average start of 10 and an average finish of 11. So Street Stock hasn't necessarily been too kind to Joe at this point. It's the Advanced Legends Cup where Joe's really doing the best work. He's third in Division 5. Divisions, again, are set up based on your iRating at the time that the season begins. So Joe was, the divisions go from 1 to rookie, so there are 11 divisions. Joe was just in the top half, and right now he's running third in his division, just ahead of David Applegate, and just behind Darren Wetzel. Chris Wold has really taken off from this group. He's got about a 170-point lead. But Joe seems to be doing pretty well. He's got 31 starts, only 2 wins, but 15 top 5s with 3 poles. So Joe finishes in the top 5 about half the time. Average start and finish are both 6. If we take a look at the overall Legends car standings, Joe is 73rd out of 10,112 drivers. That puts Joe in the top 0.75%. So he is in the top 0.75% of all the drivers that have attempted at least one points-paying race. He's doing really well here, averaging a little over 80 points per race. I would project out by the end of the season he's going to score around 720 total points. Taking into consideration the 9 best weeks, maybe just a little higher than that. So Joe doing really well here in the Advanced Legends Cup Series. As for me, well, I had a decent week. I got my iRating up to 2,222. It had been down around 2,000 at the beginning of the week. I dropped as low as 900 when I was having the internet issues. So pulling the iRating up to 2222 has been a good thing. I've been running in the top split every week, and it's showing in my finishes. It is difficult. It is really difficult to finish in the top 5 in the top split. If we take a look at how I'm doing in the Fanatec Street Stock Series, I am 28th out of 12,296 drivers. That puts me inside the top 1/4 of 1% of drivers who've attempted at least one points-paying race. I've got 24 starts, only have 1 win, 6 top 5s with 1 pole. Average start and finish are both about 9th. But I'm averaging right now just over 80 points a race. So if I can continue that out, I think you'd be looking again at somewhere around 720, 725 points. So Joe and I, Joe's performance in the Legends Cup and my performance in the Street Stock Cup are going to be very similar here in the Street Stock Series. I also have been racing pretty diligently in the Legends Cup Series. This week I started 8 races. I only had 3 top 5s. Like I said, it's getting to be tough. But if we look at the Legends Cup right now in Division 9, I am leading that division by about 260 points. I've been off to a really good start here. And, you take nothing for granted. A big lead can evaporate pretty quickly when someone strings together a few good weeks. But right now I would say that I'm in the driver's seat at least to win Division number 9. I've got 40 starts, 12 wins, 22 top 5s, and 11 poles. So my top 5 percentage right now, 22 out of 40 is about 55% in the top 5, and 585 championship points. So I'm averaging almost 100 points a week. I'm averaging about 97. So at that rate, you'd be looking at in a 9-week season probably pretty close to 900 total points. Say call it 875 for a total. So I'm going to be doing pretty well in the Advanced Legends Cup. My average start and average finish both still about 5th place, so I qualify well, tend to run well. I've been having a pretty good season. If we look at the overall standings here, I'm right now 49th out of 10,115 drivers that have attempted at least one points-paying race, and that puts me in the top half of 1%. The Legends Cup is just a little bit more competitive, and so you can see here I am now in the 49th spot overall, with some really great, and I do mean great, Advanced Legends Cup drivers. Some of the guys that are and girls that are the best in the world. Some of these drivers are absolutely the best that you're going to find anywhere. So I'm pretty happy with where I am here, running in the top 50 halfway through the season. If I were to give a summary of our racing to this point, we're at the halfway point of the 4th season in 2020. I would say that the Advanced Legends Cup is probably where we focused most of our efforts as a team. One of the reasons is that the Legends Cup it's a fully adjustable car, so you can come up with your own setups. I know Joe and I especially work quite a little bit on setups, trying to get a car that's a little more stable over the long runs and doesn't drop off as much in some of these longer races, so that by the end of the race we're a little stronger. And I think we're seeing that in some of our performances. I think Jake, with school going on right now and school being something that's really important, Jake probably isn't getting as much windshield time as he would like. but he still seems to be doing a really nice job staying inside the top 250. I think if I were to set a goal for us now for the second half of the season, it would be to see Joe join me in the top 50. I think both of us are capable of finishing inside the top 50. And then to see Jake maybe make it inside the top 150, although I think 200 is probably a more realistic goal for him at this point in time, given the amount of time he has to practice. In the Street Stock Series, well, I think I'm probably going to be the only one that keeps running the Street Stock Series seriously. And my goal for myself is to see if I can't get into the top 25. That's going to be a tall order. I'm just outside the top 25 now. I've got 6 weeks to go, and in 6 weeks, anything can happen. At this point in time, however, I'm pretty happy with our performance, as I always do. If you are an iRacer and you see this video and you think that the Johnson iRacing team might be for you, you can look me up. My handle is Aaron Johnson 14. That's me right here. And you can send me a PM if you don't know how to do that. You can look me up, type me into the search bar, look me up, and then when you look somebody up and you find them, and I'm just looking at my brother Joe here, but if you look someone up and you find them, should give you the opportunity there to click on their name and then see their profile and potentially send them a private message. And that's really what we want you to do. If you're interested in being in the Johnson iRacing team, there's the send message boxes right here. Just click on send message and say, hey man, I'm interested in being a part of your team, and we'll kind of lay down what the team rules are. We do have some rules, and they don't revolve around winning. They revolve around conducting yourself in a way that's becoming the team. And winning hopefully will become a side effect of doing things the right way. Well, at the end of week 6, this is Aaron Johnson on the Johnson iRacing Network saying, go fast, turn left, have fun.